Just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, the church they call the Cathedral of the Rhondda opened its doors to prepare for a service perhaps unlike any other in its 130-year history. They brought in 3 coffins, bearing the bodies of 2 sons and their mother between them, each killed by COVID within just 5 days of one another. If the impact of this virus could be measured in cruelty alone, the family of David and Gladys Lewis has had its terrible, unjust share.
I would like to thank the community for all the help that they've given us all. And thank you very much for all your help. I can't say no more now.
The community David Lewis thanked 2 weeks ago gathered in the village of Pentre for him and his depleted family again this morning, as best they could.
Gladys absolutely idolised her children.
David's wife Gladys Lewis was a former care worker and great-grandmother. Within hours of her death, their eldest son Dean, a father of 3, died after collapsing at home, followed 3 days later by their other son Darren in critical care. He had Down syndrome and was just 42. COVID was cited as a cause of death for all 3.
She protected Darren his entire life. Dean had a heart of gold and was idolised by his brother Darren. Darren could light up a room simply with his smile.
One after another, the 3 coffins emerged. Like their chosen music, which drifted across the Rhondda Vawr, David Lewis's family wanted us to share this, their experience of COVID, to resonate as a warning to others. The sight of a COVID funeral has become all too familiar here. The rate of deaths involving coronavirus in Rhondda Cynon Taf is now one of the highest across England and Wales. After the recent firebreak lockdown in Wales, there are signs hospital admissions may be stabilising. But for 2 of the nurses who cared for Gladys and Darren Lewis before they died, this second wave remains all-consuming.
It's our lives at the moment, 24/7, to be honest with you. You know, we don't stop thinking about it. I think when we're at home, you know, I know myself and Nikki, when Gladys was with us as a patient, the both of us come in the next thing. We both had dreamt about her. You know, they're in our dreams sometimes because you can't switch off a lot of the time.
It's difficult to speak to people about it a lot of the time, but it's nice to have the colleagues like us so we can sort of discuss what we only know what we're going through, really.
Is it worse in here now in the second wave than the first wave?
100% worse. I couldn't even... The first wave seems like years ago.
Questions linger over why some parts of Wales have been hit so hard and what role hospital outbreaks might have played in that. But for now, in communities like this, other priorities dominate. Buffy Williams is a friend of the Lewis family, now coordinating endless support packages for families this Christmas, as they've done throughout the pandemic.
It's the mental health aspect we are most concerned with. Loneliness and isolation is a huge worry for us. As you know, we've had quite a lot of deaths, losses in our community, and the bereavement aspect of this is going to be ongoing for years to come.
Few will know that better than the Lewis family, who, when writing 3 eulogies for 3 funerals on one day, made, through the voice of their priest, this plea.
We have to do our part in fighting this pandemic. And you are right when you say that no family should ever go through what we've been going through over the last few weeks.